Welcome to Sovereign Tarot, where we unite our High Priestess with our Hierophant to create peace, love, and joy in our inner realms through conscious presence. And today is a collective reading, and I just took a walk with my dog, and on my walk I kind of got this idea to do a Celtic cross reading for the collective, but the cross part is going to be, I always start getting like messages when I do these. I don't know. So the cross part is going to be what is happening, because I'm in the US and a lot of my friends are in the US, is going to be what's happening in the US like over the next year. So like a picture of what's going to be happening in the US over the next year. And then the line part, which I don't know what you call that, but the line that's next to the cross is going to be your role in that, you know, what you need to do with that energy and with what's happening over here. So that's the way that I'm envisioning it, and that's what I'm like talking to Spirit about. But you never know what you're going to get back from Spirit, and so you have to be open and adaptive and flexible with what you receive. So things may change as we get into the reading. I am going to start out with the second reading in A Course of Miracles, or lesson 2 in A Course of Miracles, and I'm going to keep doing this. Every week we'll do a new lesson. So lesson 2 is, I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. So the exercises with this idea are the same as those for the first one. Begin with things that are near you and apply that idea to whatever your glance rests on. So you're saying that the first one was, nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place means anything. And the second one is, I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. So just look around again and say, I have given that chair meaning. I have given this table meaning. I have given that body meaning. And that's the lesson for today. And again, I do these Course in Miracles readings with you because it helps you uncover who you truly are. And it is part of creating peace in your inner realms. And what is on the inside is what you're going to see on the outside. And that's what an awakening really is. It's recognizing that your inner world is creating your outer world. And what do you want to create? What do you want to see in the outer world? And what are you seeing? You have to be able to look at that and how you're co-creating that with other people. It's not just you. It comes from your ancestors. It comes from your culture. So don't be hard on yourself. It's bigger and stronger and deeper than you, but you have the ability to change it and to create change. You're not in control of everything. You're co-creating, but you have the ability to. And it's by changing your inner world. And that's what I try to do on this channel with you. Okay, so we're going to, after I do the Course in Miracles, I do a Divine Beloved reading. And this is what I'm doing now, but I also want to reserve the right to change anything that I do. Because we're all learning and growing all the time. And I tend to be a person, I'm learning, that as soon as I get good at something, I don't want to do it anymore because I learned what I wanted to learn. I'm learning a lot through these tarot readings. It's really interesting. What I have been learning is that I wasn't sure, because I follow 2 channels that I really love. Well, I follow more than 2, but my favorite tarot readers on YouTube are Dove and Serpent Tarot and what is the other one? It's about illumination or something like that. I'll get it. And then Julie Poole. Then there's another Scottish Gypsy, I think. But my favorite is Dove and Serpent, and I watch those all the time. And then the second one is the Illuminated Tarot, I I think. But anyway, so I've been learning through them, and a lot of other tarot readers, like what they do. And they were doing these readings for each sign, and I'm like, how do they tune into each sign? How does that happen? Like, how do they know they're reading for that sign? So I just said, I'm just going to try it. And so I would just try to tune into the energy of that sign. And it's been very different. So, and I'm also like looking at their readings too after to like see if there's any validation or any cross validation. And I am getting that there is, but my readings are very different. Mine are a lot about what's happening in your inner world, because I don't, and your higher spirit. I don't really concentrate on the earthly realm so much, but I do talk about that a little in the path next to the cross. But I'm mostly concentrated on your mental spiritual world and helping you take control over that and understand it and accept and love all parts of yourself. So it's just been very interesting doing this. And it's also, what it's also doing is I'm noticing where these, because we have every astrological sign in our chart. And so, and each house. So we have all of them. So I'm noticing also, and I want to look at more, like, oh, where's that Virgo? Like, for example, what house is Virgo in for me? And what is that about? So when I do these readings, I'm like, oh, there's a message in every one of the astrological signs for you. So you can also look at your charts and be like, oh, you know, this is this part of me. So that's also like, I learned internal family systems. I was a marriage and family therapist. I'm not fully, I have to give up my license still. It ends in March 31st. So I'm going to let it go then, if not sooner, because I'm being called to let go of it sooner. I'm wanting to let go of it sooner. I learned this model called internal family systems, which says that we have all these different, we're all basically multiple personality. And we have all these personality parts. We have basically protector parts, and we have like inner child, wounded child parts that we've stuffed down in the basement because we haven't known how to take care of them. And the protectors protect the inner wounded child parts. And then there's like also, they have like different labels for different aspects. There's also the firefighters, and they're like addictions and things that we use to not feel the inner child. So they're when we do get activated, when something gets beyond our protector and we're activated, instead of feeling that, we use some sort of like addiction or substance to prevent ourselves from feeling that. But what I'm noticing in these readings is that through the different signs, you're also like, there are different parts of your personality, and that when you see them and you can learn to love and accept them, then you're integrating them and you're creating peace in your inner realms. So that's what I'm learning, and it's like fascinating. And I'm so excited for this. It's very fun. It's really, I feel like this is a calling, and I'm so loving it. Okay, so I like to get these Divine Beloved Oracle cards as like a prayer to kind of protect our reading and set an intention around our reading. And also, it helps us to see what we may need. A Course in Miracles says that we don't know what we need. And that is true, because we may think that we need these material things, but actually what we're calling for is something deeper. For example, I really wanted a Jeep. And when I was like looking at manifesting and stuff, they were saying, what is the essence of that? What is that really for you? What is the feeling that you would have riding in a Jeep? And so that was really like the ability to go anywhere, over anything, not have to like respect like rules or roads or anything, and just be wild and be free. So that was what it meant for me to have a Jeep. You're probably like, please don't get a Jeep. Anyway, I do have a Jeep, but it's not running right now. Okay. So that's what I mean. And that's what I think they mean in A Course in Miracles. Like, we think that we know what we want and what we need, but in actuality, we don't. So that's why we get things back from spirit and we're like, what is that? I didn't want that. But you were asking for it, or you were maybe fearing it and you drew it towards you because you were fearing it. And you needed to know that whatever that fear was, you could change that. You could overcome that. I used to do that with my kids. Right, I am getting a card here. I used to like freak out about my kids, and then I would be like, oh my God, I'm creating that. I'm drawing that towards me. I don't want to do that. So I would just think of, well, what is the opposite of that? What would I want to happen? And I would try to focus my energy on that. Okay, so we got now in the holy space between. And I think that really fits for what I'm trying to do here, or the reading that I'm trying to get, because we are in this place where what our current situation in the US and in a lot of countries, it's not working. We're finding it's not working because it's very ego-led, very left brain led, discounts the right brain or the feminine or the spirit, and totally dismisses, pushes it down. It doesn't acknowledge that it even exists, and that's why it's not working. So we know we have to move into something else, but we don't know what that is. And also A Course in Miracles helps with that too. The people that wrote A Course in Miracles basically channeled the book, but they were psychologists who they were atheists. They didn't even believe in God. But they were like having all these conflicts with the people they were working with. And they were like, there has to be more to life than this. And that's when the book came through. And it's believed to be Jesus that was speaking through the book. Okay, in the holy space between. So let's get in whatever prayer position you use, or however you pray. And for me, it's a little bit different. I was raised Catholic, so sometimes I do the Catholic thing. And sometimes I'm also a yoga teacher, so sometimes I just do the yoga thing and just bring my hands together into heart center and allow me, divine beloved, to rest in that holy space between what is and what will be. Let me fully embrace, relax, and bless the now. Okay, so we are in that space between things that are not working and what do we want. That's where we are now in the US and in other countries too. So we're just going to ask to rest in that holy space. Fully embrace, relax, and bless the now. Being in the present moment. And when you're scared, it's very hard to be in the present moment. In my marriage, it was very hard for me to be in the moment. My nervous system, since I was a child, was set to be fight or flight. And as I moved out of that relationship and into my own environment, and I drew my boyfriend now to me, my nervous system was able to relax, calm, and I can be in the present moment now. The only place that I could be in the present moment before was when I was a therapist and I was with my clients, because I created that environment. And so I could be fully present with people. And I wanted to be able to be that way in my life. And I can do that now. Okay. So now after we get that one and we set that intention, we are going to look at the archetype cards. So what is the story what is the story and the overall archetypes or patterns that we're working with in the US right now, that we're trying to understand and integrate and evolve, alchemize the lessons of. We are all really connected to where we grew up too, where we were born and where we live. We're very connected to those stories. They are a part of us. I mean, I'll just give you an example of that. And each country has its own story that it's working through, at least one, if not more. So you are also a part of that story. And like when the airplanes hit the World Trade Center, or the towers, I felt that like an airplane going through my heart. And like that's how it affects us, you know, like we are so intricately connected to the story of our country and our culture. And it is a part of us. So being able to look at that can be really helpful. So there's nothing coming out right now, so I need to concentrate, I think. Okay, what stories this year are we working on in the US, and what are we working through? Can you help us to understand? The saboteur. Okay. Light attribute highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Induces the shadow attribute is induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay, and I only got that one card, so we'll focus on that. Okay, so we came into this country, we developed this country, but it was already here. There were already indigenous people here, living here. And we didn't acknowledge them. And maybe that's like spirit, right? That could be, there's spirit and ego there too in the indigenous culture. But I think indigenous cultures are more spiritually, more earth connected, more feminine energy. So we came here and we didn't really acknowledge that there was already people living here. And, you know, at first we did because we were like, oh, they could help us. And then we were like, oh, they're competing against us. We want this. And we just like let that ego and that power and that masculine energy take over. And we annihilated a lot of the indigenous tribes in this country. And then the ones that were left, we just pushed into little corners and like forgot about them basically. So that is saboteur energy where we were sabotaging parts of ourselves and not seeing that all of that is us. We're all of that. And we had these great ideas for this country about freedom and self-empowerment, but we didn't set it up in a way that we believed them because we didn't know how to at the time. We were adopting other cultural norms and we just didn't know how to. We didn't know how to establish that. So we still had slaves and we were talking about freedom. And so it was very hypocritical. It still is very hypocritical. And so maybe we're punishing ourselves for that because we know that, but punishing ourselves doesn't help. Understanding does. Understanding, integrating, and making things right in whatever way we can will help. So again, the light attribute of the saboteur highlights our fear of self-empowerment. So if we were right about what we said, then we would have responsibility for what we created and what we brought in. And I think that's part of it. We don't want to take responsibility for what we have created. But what if we could do that? And the changes it would bring to our life. So a lot of this is about taking responsibility for your life. Exactly how it is. That would be your role personally. We can't control the government. We can't control any of that. But what we can do is we can look at that in ourselves. How are we afraid of self-empowerment? What, you know, we probably are afraid of the saboteur within us, you know? When we get close to something, we sabotage it. Why? I would say that the saboteur is a protector, and we need to listen to it. So we need to listen to the lesson that it's trying to tell us. It might be an old lesson. We might not need it anymore. Like for me, like, it's safe to love. It's safe to trust. And I need to learn those lessons of, you know, protecting myself. And this is what I have. These are my resources and I need to protect them and not let anybody into my inner realms unless I feel safe or comfortable doing that. Really pay attention to what my intuition and my spirit is telling me. So I'm learning from my saboteur too. The shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. So we all have this saboteur within us, and just listen to it. It's a protector. It's protecting you. And so once you make friends with your protector, this is IFS, Internal Family Systems model of therapy. And by making friends with it, you have to like imagine it. Like imagine that part of you, that the saboteur. What does it look like in your mind's eye? What does it look like? How old is it? And what does it want to tell you? And keep talking to it. Like give it at least a week, because it's like a neuronal connection in your brain too. And there may be more than one, but like it may show up in different personalities, like all different personalities. But once you work with one, it will change everything. So looking at your saboteur, imagining it, and just like saying, creating friendship with it. I understand that I pretty much think that you're trying to protect me. So, and it may actually be one of the firefighters too, like an addictive part of you. So you could still just be like, I see that you're trying to protect me. And what is it that you want to tell me? What is it that you're worried about? I want to hear. And just imagine yourself engaging with it every day, at least for a week. And so you're respecting it, you're listening to it, you're acknowledging it, and it's going to become more integrated into you. And it won't be like anything that's not integrated acts like a child having a temper tantrum, and nobody wants that, right? That taking control. Nobody wants that. So just listen to it, acknowledge it, see what lessons it has for you. And as you integrate that, and respect it, you can then ask it to take a step back so you can get to see the part that it's protecting. And then that part that it's protecting, you want to like learn that part, take a week with that part, and just care for it, learn what it needs to be cared for. Okay. So now I'm going to do the Celtic Cross reading for what's going to be playing out in the U.S. in particular over this coming year, 2026. And then what we want to do with that, like what our role is. Okay. Page of Pentacles, and it's upside down. So that jumped out already. So that's the current situation. Page of Pentacles, or no, sorry, Page of Wands. I said Page of Pentacles. I wonder why. Page of Wands. So that's a fire energy, and it's learning. We're going to get more about that. Okay, so, but to me, what that's, I don't want to say anything yet. I want to wait till I get the cards. I already have some ideas about it, but I just want to, I'm learning to trust myself, right? It's such a fun process, learning to trust yourself. For that card for me is like learning to trust your spirit or your inner child, because your inner child is very connected to your spirit, but it can be very young, and you also have the part that's mature and has had experiences. So they're often like very far apart in the beginning when you get to know them and see them, and we kind of bring them together. I don't know how else to describe it. It's kind of interesting. It's already at 24 minutes, so this is going to be a long reading, but I think that it's important. And I really wish that more of my readings could get out there, because I think they're so important and helpful. And so if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing and sharing these videos with other people, I think particularly right now, people could use these messages. And I heard from another channel, the guy said, that will be your good deed for the day. And I liked that, because it gives you, like, it's true. Like, I'm putting my heart, my Meraki, I don't even know what that is, but it's in one of these cards, into this. Everything that I've learned, and, and so it's valuable. And I want other people to see it and value it as they learn to see and value themselves. Okay, I gotta concentrate because nothing's coming out. All right. All right, good. Here we go. 5 of Cups. All right. All right. Wow. So we're looking at what is salvageable. You know, what is, so you can see that there's this egg, or it looks like an egg to me, in the middle of a nest. And behind her, there's this like bowl of like, almost looks like the chakras, or energy centers, or I don't know. And then she's got, there should be 5 cups, but I don't see them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, one of them is the one with all her resources. So in front of her, there's like an egg, and in the back, there's one of her cups with all her resources. She's feeling those resources. And she's looking at what's in front of her and what is salvageable. So I think that's kind of what we're doing. We're recognizing that we need to bring our inner spirit into things, but it's very young and it's still kind of quiet. We're recognizing that. I'm going to get more information about that. And we're looking at this situation. We're looking at like, oh my God, this is just not working. But what is salvageable? What is that? What is like worth saving here? So she's contemplating that. I would say this even goes to different countries too, like Earth. That's really like, I see her kind of as Mother Earth. And what is, and the feminine, the divine feminine. I had this vision a couple of years ago about Kuan Yin riding in on a dragon and just like burning down anything that wasn't real. And that's what I'm talking about when I talk about my Jeep and the essence of things, you know. What is it that we're really trying to create? And of course in Miracles, like too, like we don't know what it is that we're really looking for. We think it's these material stupid shit, but it's really deeper than that what we're looking for. And I think we're starting to realize that. Okay, let me concentrate again. Okay. So I got the 8 of Cups down below, the foundation of the issue, or the unconscious. So she's walking away from something. Walking away and towards the sun. We're walking away from what's not real, the illusion, and we're headed towards the light, our spirit, like our higher self, the guidance of our higher selves. And in the back we have the 10 of Pentacles, and that to me says that to me is like the money being everything, the monetary system, but I'll get more on that. You know, it's like that money is happiness. This is what we're walking away from. Money can create happiness, but we can't put it above true happiness. And that's what we've been doing. We're treating money like a god, and money is not the god. Just like my Jeep isn't really what I was looking for. It's the freedom and the wild of it, my wild nature. Spirit. I feel very connected to wolves right now. I always have, but now even more than ever. Okay. All right, so what's above us is the Fool. I love that. The Fool energy is like a new path. The Fool energy is 0 point. It's a new path. It's starting, like following our spirit. That's what's above us. Coming down from spirit is this, like, I'm going to get more on that. I want it to be more clear. And then what's in front of us is the 4 of Swords, but it's upside down, and we're resting. So we're resting and we're receiving information, receiving downloads from spirit, from our higher self, if you will. Like if you don't believe in God, you do have like a higher self that has more knowledge than your human self. hopefully you believe that and you know that to be true. And it is, I mean, I can't say it's the part of you, because it's more like the whole you that encompasses all of you and that is connected to everything. Okay, so now we're gonna get the what your role in everything is. But your role is still here, and this is just what's happening in the higher realms, in the higher spiritual realms. It's not what you see here on earth, but it's what's happening in the higher spiritual realms. There is a better story than the one that you've been listening to or hearing or watching on TV or in the social media. There's a higher purpose for all of this that you see. Okay. Is the Magician upside down. That's that self-empowerment, right? And the fear of self-empowerment. So that you have the ability to create is the right side up. But we're gonna get the message from upside down. And then what I do is I do I kind of do like family constellations with the tarot cards. So we'll do an affirmation to write it. Unless sometimes when it's upside down, it's actually like what you need. So we'll look at that too. All right. So what is in the environment in front of us? The Seven of Pentacles, that seed that we're planting. You see how it all goes together? Or that seed that we planted. I think it goes back to this. The seeds of our intentions that we planted. They're growing, look, they're growing. It's also this energy right here, you know? The pages are like younger, like beginning stages of growth. And that's like wands or like fire suit or like creative endeavors could be jobs, just could be some sort of creative endeavor. Okay, then we have the Queen of Pentacles in our hopes and fears. Look how natural she is. It's like natural earthly abundance. So I would say this is more of a hope, but the fear may be that there is no earthly abundance. I don't know, maybe. I'm gonna get more from, I want to look at all the cards, but just for example, see, I am really valuing myself now, but I haven't seen that value that I give myself out in the world. Nobody, well, not nobody, but there are people that value me. I actually am getting that from my boyfriend. I get a lot of, he values me a lot. And other people that I've met recently, I think, value me more than people from my past. And even people from my past, my family is starting to see me more, see who I really am, and value me more. And then I took a spiritual life course, and I was like, usually in school and even in my master's programs, like my teachers didn't like me, and I didn't know why, but I was like, I know I had a part in it. It was probably the way I said things or something, but like I challenged their authority. Or I saw things they didn't want me to see. But I've learned how to see things in a better light. I see myself in a better light. I have more compassion for myself. And in having more compassion for myself, and also being a therapist, I have a lot more compassion for others. So now what I say and what I see comes out in a different way. It comes out more in light and love. And so as that has happened, it's changing the way people receive me in the world. But it's slow, right? I haven't, you know, like, I'm still waiting to be seen for my value in the world and to get that experience back. But I know that it's coming. I'm watching my shepherd run around the yard and bark at things. Ooh, the Chariot. Okay, so the Chariot is you taking the reins, and I think this is really funny because we have the Lunar New Year, or the Chinese astrological New Year, is the old year 2025 is the wood snake, and what we're moving into is the water horse. And so I'm just seeing that with the horses and the chariot. So we are taking the reins. We're going to take the reins, and we're going to bring in what we want to create. So maybe this one is like, what is your abundance? What is your prosperity? Like maybe you're afraid to be prosperous because you have some sort of ideas about money, that it's bad. Or it's just out of balance. So there's some sort of fears around that, or things that you need to look at around abundance. Abundance isn't necessarily just money. It's resources. It's this bull that she's got behind her. Resources. Okay. So I want to get more information about these, and I think my boyfriend is home, so he might be interrupting me, but we'll see what happens with that. He might just go into the garage and start working. All right, so Page of Wands, that's what's happening in the country. So just to be clear on your path, you're we'll get more information about that, but you're becoming the magician. You're becoming like a co-creator with God, the universe, your higher self, other people. You've already planted seeds of your intentions, so maybe you want to just come back to those and remember what it is that you truly want. What is your abundance? What is abundance to you? Hey, I'm doing a video. And then you're going to take the reins and you're going to do whatever is in your power to create that in the world. But you're going to also stay tuned into yourself, and, don't abandon yourself, and also don't think that you have total control. See what the universe gives you back, understand and integrate that, and then take your next step. Okay. And I'll get you one more card after that to confirm that. But let's go back to Page of Wands and like what's happening in this country and possibly in the world, where we're at. Hey, babe.
Hey. I was thinking about making an egg and cheese, would you like?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll have one.
I know you don't want them on bread, but...
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I don't want it on bread.
I can make you a little omelet.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. So I said in my reading that everything means something. So he's actually giving me something. He's making something for me. So that means something. Okay. Okay, this is an awakening, right? So it's, because the affirmation is, as the dreamer of my dream, I spontaneously and passionately ignite this flame. So it's recognizing that, what you're seeing on the outside is, I don't want to say illusion because it feels very real and it is very real when you're in it, but it's recognizing that you have been a part of creating this. And because this is upside down, let's see what that message is. But again, I don't want you to be hard on yourself because it comes from your ancestors and from cultures and from generations back. So we've been handed this, we've been a part of this, and we can only create change to the degree that we are in it. Okay, so all right, good. This is limiting beliefs. Upside down, it's limiting beliefs, creator angst, a need to direct your energy, feeling eager to start something new, but confronted by obstacles, hot-headedness, being rebellious. All right, this page is a free spirit. Oh my God, isn't that cool? Who carries infectious enthusiasm with her. Delight in her youthful, raw, and exuberant creative energy, and pay attention to the new ideas that are bubbling to the surface at this time. You will find flashes of inspiration here, inspiration that comes bundled with massive potential. If you are feeling the creator angst of not having any solid plans to bring these insights to life, let go of your need to formalize your plans right now. So I think like a lot of us are like, this has to change. We can't keep living like this. And we have ideas about it, but we're trying to control the outside world and we can't. So all that energy is not gonna do anything. We have to just look at ourselves and what's coming from inside, what we can do something about. Giving your ideas the space they need to develop before sharing them prematurely will allow their wings to fully form. Okay, and that's this energy that we have to step into, is like going inward and really like getting these ideas, like letting these ideas germinate. It's like she's in the nest, right? So this is the card that was crossing us, the challenge, or what we need to deal with right now. And see that egg in front? I'm thinking of it as an egg in front of her. That's us, our full sovereign selves in the nest. Okay. Giving your ideas the space they need to develop before sharing them prematurely will allow their wings to fully form. Their potency is limitless. Let them breathe. Spend any extra time in the pursuit of the imagination. And if you are feeling any lack of ambition or drive, or feeling devoid of the inspiration that this card illuminates, know that you will find this fire when you allow yourself to dream. But I can tell you that it was very hard for me to dream when my dreams were being crushed by my last relationship. So sometimes we need to let go of things that are not serving us anymore. And that might be part of what we need to do. Or you've maybe already done that. Okay, so we're going to write this, but first we're going to say the affirmation. As the dreamer of my dream, I spontaneously and passionately ignite this flame. And I am a part of this country that I live in. And this is my part. My dream is my part. Okay, and we have the 5 of Cups. We don't have any plates left. I just said we don't have any plates left. I don't know what that means, but it means something. What does that mean to you? They're paper plates. We don't have any paper plates left. Okay, so this is crossing. So grieving, disillusion, disappointment, betrayal, bitterness, wallowing, self-pity can signify a broken heart. That is actually the light side of this card. So we do need the shadow side. Not letting go of past trauma, crying over spilled milk, rooting deeply into shadow work without healing and letting go. Old stories that become a part of you. Callousness, becoming jaded. Okay. So looking at our shadow, we need to look at our shadow and what is the gold that we can get from our shadow? That's what I was talking about at the beginning, what we did to indigenous cultures that were here, that are part of us, but we pushed them down. They're into the basement, like our wounded inner child. And because we didn't know how to care for them and see them and love them. We need to be able to do that, to see the indigenous people of this country and integrate them. We don't integrate them ourselves. We allow their messages and to integrate in us. And we acknowledge and we give them value. So we need to look at our shadow as a country, and we need to turn it into gold. Okay, so my tender heart helps me navigate toward my bright future. Oh, and this is really important. The illusion is lifting, and you may suddenly find yourself in the middle of a reality that is painfully disappointing. Disillusionment. If your dark night was a result of someone else's deception, you will need to find the seeds of forgiveness. And A Course in Miracles is all about forgiveness. In order to avoid a calloused heart, release yourself from any guilt around the situation. When we realize that the future we were working toward is no longer an option, it's easy to focus on the loss and allow... You hear all that noise? That's also a part of the reading. So it's kind of hard to do this when there's a lot of noise in the environment. There is a lot of noise in the environment and chaos. But that's going to help you go inward. You might be annoyed by it, but it's actually what's making you go inward. You're so annoyed by what's going on the outside that it's forcing you to just go in. And that's what you want to do. It's easy to focus on the loss and allow our energy to stagnate and spiral into self-pity. Don't allow your life force to drain away with the things you once loved. Allow your tender heart to navigate toward this curative magic. A magician. Finding faith in the future. Wait, where was I? Yeah, finding faith in your future. If you are having a hard time letting go, unhook your heart from your fragmented dreams. Thank you, baby. And give yourself permission to envision a brighter future. You might need to let go of some things in order to be able to do that. Dismantle your grief, and you might need to grieve. You might need to feel grief. Reclaim your happiness and consciously step back onto a path filled with hope. So this is going to be over the course of a year. So you're not going to do this all at once. This is a process. What's underneath is walking away from something. So let's get that. 8 of Cups. Letting go, releasing that which no longer serves you. Remember, this is for the country. So we're letting go of these old stories that no longer serve us. Like, we're the powerful country. We're better than everybody else. We can help other people and tell them what to do. No, we need to focus on ourselves and really looking at our own values and whether we're living up to them. Okay, so a ritual releasing, a time to move stuck energy, walking away, leaving your old reality to pursue a new one, abandonment, disappointment. But you're not abandoning yourself, you're abandoning those things that you thought were yourself. When I was having my awakening, what I realized was that I had been loyal to my mother and my spouse, but not to myself. And so when I was walking away, I felt so disloyal and so torn and so like I was abandoning them. But it was to choose me. So choosing you, abandoning what you thought was you, but wasn't really you. So you're going to be feeling this disillusionment, this disappointment. And the affirmation for this is, I walk away from negativity and old stories. It doesn't say that, but we're adding that. And I choose myself in a rebellious act of self-love. Okay, that's what the foundation of the issue is. 10 of Pentacles in the past. And I'm going to eat because it's hot right now, and that's valuing what I'm receiving. So we're going to value and be grateful for what we're receiving. Okay. That's good, baby. Okay. Spiritual and material abundance, community, generosity, wealth, and prosperity, building a legacy. Okay, so this is the U.S. in the past, or maybe other countries too. Material, I'm going to say it's more material wealth and prosperity and being a superpower. We're leaving that behind, and we're going to realize that we're just like everybody else, struggling and trying to create something beautiful. Okay. And the Fool is what's coming down from Spirit. I love that. New beginnings, potential, adventures, enthusiasm, awakening. So we experience this disillusionment first, and then we awaken to our potential, including the spiritual, including the right brain, including the feminine, including the indigenous cultures. What is our power? What are our resources? Really recognizing them, because we didn't before. We didn't recognize the resources of our intuition. But through all of this, like, fake news and all that shit out there, like, it's making us really tune into our intuition and our inner wisdom, because we don't know what to trust out there. So we have to go inward. And all these people that are like trying to fool you and get your money and steal your, like, and hack into your systems, like, it's making us learn to trust our intuition and our spirit. So there is a higher purpose. Okay. So what's in front of us is I just really want to get this for the Fool energy. I'm ready for this adventure down my soul path. So we're all going to be listening to our spirit, our soul, and on this new adventure of trusting that. And that's part of what awakening is. That's part of what people say when you're having an awakening, or I don't know. There's all kinds of terms for it, but basically that. Every dream achieved begins with the seemingly foolish notion that there is something bigger out there, something greater to explore and to become. This childlike optimism, which goes along with the Page of Wands, comes from deep within your knowing, and it reminds you that you can achieve all the magical things that you've been dreaming about. The journey of the soul begins with a single step, and you may find yourself on the edge of an epic journey. You only get one step at a time. When you're following your spirit, you aren't going to know the outcome. You aren't going to know what's going to happen. You just have to trust, and each step will appear when it's ready. And that's also the Magician. Like, you can only create like what's right in front of you, each step. Okay, I'm very excited about this. Four of Swords. Okay, it's upside down. So not recognizing the dangers of burnout, a need to spend time recovering, dedicating your energy to self-care. Again, this is the country, right? But it's also us. So I can tell you that I burnt out so badly that I needed to just leave that career behind. And I think that was supposed to happen, and it's guiding me here. So we're going to turn this right side up, and we're just going to say, I give myself permission to slow down and heal. And bring that energy inward, and not be like, maybe as a country we need to not be interfering and doing things in other countries so much, but kind of go inward and look at our values and how we are living them, and what can we do to live them. Okay, so now we're going to go over here to what you want to be able to do. The Magician. We have the Magician upside down, so let's look at that. So that's card 1. It comes right after the Fool. Notice that. Look, the Fool's up here coming down from Spirit, and then that's what we want to do. We want to realize that we are the Magician. Okay. So 0, 1, we're on the hero's journey. We're all on the hero's journey here. And I don't know, but I've been watching the show Heroes with my boyfriend, and I watched it a long time ago. I think it came out in 2006 or somewhere around then. It was on Prime. I think it's leaving Prime. We didn't even get to finish, but basically that is the message of all of this. I think it's all the hero's journey kind of stuff. And I haven't finished it, so I'm not sure exactly how it ends, but they have parts from Jung and shadow work, and in order to be a hero, there has to be a villain, right? And that's a polarity. So if we don't want there to be a villain, or we can't be the hero, you know? And if we're not the hero, who are we? What are we? Well, we could be the magician. Okay. Skill, natural talents, powers of manifestation, creativity, resourcefulness. But the shadow side, because it was upside down, is unused potential, latent talents, questionable intentions, manipulation, selfishness, unfocused or blocked creative energy. That's all ego shit, right? The magician brings forth a powerful message of creation and potential. You are magic. Sorry, it looked like there was a period there. You are magic. I'm going to turn it right side up. You have everything you need to succeed. Badass manifesting energy from the cosmos. All the skills you require. They're all at your fingertips. Beautiful creator, go create. I need better glasses. Activate the magic in your veins by focusing your energy, willpower, desire, and actions. When you consciously step into your personal power and decide to shape the material world in this way, every breath in and every breath out is an opportunity to carve new meanings and new perspectives into reality. I do this yoga with Adrienne, and she was talking yesterday in a video about how breath is spirit. She said, just think about that. Imagine that your breath is spirit. Every breath in and every breath out is an opportunity to carve new meanings and new perspectives into reality. If you are unsure of your ability to create the life you desire, trust in the latent potential that resides within you. Feeling less than inspired at this time reminds you that it's time to find your muse. Find your spark. Find your why. With everything you need sitting in front of you like a giant universe cauldron, what is it that you desire to bring to life? I'm just going to go back to this. Like, what if that was a cauldron? Or the cauldron is behind her. She's looking in front of her, but it's actually behind her, within her. And look at those two cards, right? This is what was crossing us, or what's in front of, crossing us or in front of us. And look, it's as if she stepped up and took control over that. And we are doing that with the Chariot. Okay. I can manifest the life I desire through energy and action. But it's first like going in and really like looking at, what did they say here? If you're unsure of your ability to create the life you desire, trust in the latent potential that resides within you. Feeling less than inspired at this time reminds you that it's time to find your muse, find your spark, find your why. With everything you need sitting in front of you like a giant universe cauldron, what is it that you desire to bring to life? And what can you do today that will bring it one step closer to reality? Remember, it's only one step at a time. And you have the Seven of Pentacles. Wow, this is an hour long. But I think it's well worth it. Okay, so this is in the environment. And as I give thanks for what I'm about to harvest, I know that my life is headed in the right direction. Okay, so the light side is a pause, states of gratitude. So you want to be in gratitude. And we talked about when I was eating my eggs, I was in gratitude. So that's there, right? We want to be in gratitude. Reflecting on our journey getting the shadow from it, like, I don't know if that was this card or this card, but integrating and alchemizing the shadow, because that is our gift. And okay, reflecting on your journey and getting the gifts of your journey, waiting to harvest the fruits of your labor, a sign to keep going. Okay, so keep going. Those seeds that you planted are growing. And if you don't remember what they are, come back to your why. Okay, then this is the hopes and fears, and it's the Queen of Pentacles. I'm trying to wrap this up so it's not so long. But remember, this is for the whole year. And it's a process. I enjoy my deeply connected life, and I lead it with an outpouring of warmth, abundance, and love. Okay, so this is a healer, a working parent, a self-made person. That's that self-empowerment, right? So maybe it's that fear of self-empowerment, because it's in the fears. Material wealth and abundance, strength in family and community, and it's the feminine energy. A kind and nurturing heart, groundedness, being down to earth, generosity. Okay. This self-made queen reminds you to step into abundance by shifting any shadows you are holding onto around wealth and security. Remember I said that before? You are safe. Pay attention to your finances to level up your money game and give yourself permission to rise into the upper ranks. I see this as women stepping up. This is a positive message of creature comforts and the feminine stepping up. So not just women, but like people that value the feminine, the gifts of the feminine, intuition, poetry, freedom, movement, flow, music, all right brain stuff. This is a positive message of creature comforts and happiness, and this earthly medicine ushers in a life well lived in the material world. Connect with nature to find your calm, healing, and rooted power, and harness the abundance that's available to you by bringing groundedness to your situation. Shower others with warm blessings, so you're embodying this, embodiment. Shower others with warm blessings from a charitable heart, as loyalty, family, and community are themes at this time. You're nurturing, it's working with community, working in communion with others, co-creating, which is also feminine, cooperation. Your cooperation versus competition, which is more of the masculine. And it's just out of balance. There's nothing wrong with the masculine. We need that energy too. But it's out of balance because we've discounted the feminine and we have not valued it. Your nurturing and down-to-earth approach will give stability and support to those in your life. Don't overextend your energy. Stay with yourself. Don't abandon yourself. Avoid enabling others by over-mothering them. Yes, definitely. That's definitely a problem with us women. They must learn to walk on their own. Don't give more than people are able to receive, and don't do more for other people don't do for other people what they can do for themselves. And this country has a big problem with that too. They must learn to walk on their own. Bring your self-worth and guidance and your glorious, powerful love. Again, I enjoy my deeply connected life, and I lead it with an outpouring of warmth, abundance, and love. Okay, we're so worried about other people and their stories and their problems that we don't look at our own, that we're not looking at our own stuff, and that's what we need to do, okay? Other people have their own stories, and they can walk their own walk. And if you are giving yourself enough, you will be able to give them a little bit of assistance or care. But what is your path really? You know, what is your path? What is your gift? And it comes from your shadow. It comes from what you're alchemizing. It comes from your journey. It comes from your past. It comes from what you've learned so far. Okay, and the outcome is the Chariot. You're taking the reins. You are realizing your gifts, your resources, and you're taking the reins. Victory, speed and action, determination, harnessing and uniting opposing energies. Opposing energies. It could be the masculine and the feminine. It could be the Republican and the Democrat. What are these for you? What is your gift? I love uniting like polarities. I love that. Finding like the commonalities, win-win situations. That's very feminine. Okay, uniting opposing energies, and that's what I try to do in this channel, uniting our hierophant, the tradition and cultural and what we've been given with our higher self and what we want to create. Success, travel, confidence, willpower, control, but not total control. You're taking control over your life and your inner realms, not anybody else. I choose who I am becoming, and I run toward it with conviction and consistent motion. It's just you're realizing that you're a part of a larger system and you're taking your part. You're not trying to control things that don't belong to you or other people. Just your part. You're taking control of your life, your mind, your resources, and you're moving forward with your dream. So this is awesome. It's going to be an awesome year. If you can get into this energy and this correct way of seeing things. I shouldn't say correct, because everybody has their own perspective, and that's valid, and you need to work with that where you are. And just recognize that it's not everyone's perspective, and that you have a limited view of the situation. So see what the universe is giving you back. I feel like this reading has been like way too long, but let me just get one more message from the guides for us for this coming year. It might have been this one. Practice moderation. That jumped at me. But let's see if there's another one. You are never alone. We're being guided by our higher selves, our spirit, our ancestors. I don't know, whatever you believe. God, angels. You're not alone. Accept struggle as lessons. Ooh, that is excellent. Excellent. So practice moderation. You are never alone. I see this as staying with yourself, staying very attuned and present with yourself, which speaks to the beginning of the now and the holy space between, the prayer at the beginning. And accept struggles as lessons. So you don't have to have all the answers, and actually that helps you to know that you don't have to have all the answers, to be more open. And when you think you have to have all the answers and you have to have control, that's just going to mess you up. That's ego. So you don't want to do that. All right, so that is the message for the collective for the year 2026 that we're moving into. I hope you loved it as much as I loved it, because I really loved it.